How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews back with yet another review. And today we're going to be doing an IPA. It's kind of an IPA in the loosest sense of the term. Not that it's not a hop-forward beer, which, you know, everybody kind of assumes with almost all IPAs. It is the, I don't know what you call it. I don't even call it a double IPA or a triple IPA, or as much as just a crazy IPA. Almost liquor, which is a Dogfish Head 120. The 120, I mean, if you never heard of 120, I don't know why you're watching this video, because that would mean if you're watching this video, you're into beer, and if you're into beer, you've heard of it. 120 is a weird thing for me. I love the beer. It's actually one of my favorite styles of beer, or favorite versions of a style of beer. But I like them aged. Again, you know, your double IPAs and your really crazy hop forward IPAs, most people are like, oh, you got to drink them as fresh as humanly possible. IPA, like I said, is just a little bit different version of your kind of over the top IPA, in that it's not even a beer anymore. It's almost like a liquor. It's a 2011 version, so it's got 3 years on it, almost 4, because we're at the end of November, and I believe it comes out earlier in the year. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the ABV is on this year, but they usually push about 20%. It's probably 18 and change, I think it was, for this year. This might be one of the old 20%ers. Either way, it's a really nice beer fresh, but it also ages fantastic. The one great thing about Dogfish Head 120s is that they're very balanced. Even though they're super hop forward, they are malt. They have a huge malt backbone to them too, so they balance out quite well. To age them, and that malt comes a little bit forward for me, ends up being fantastic. So, super excited to give this a whirl. I know I've had this year before, but it's been probably like a year or two since I've had this year. So, really interested to see how this one ages. As far as what it says on the label, Dogfish Head 120-minute IPA, the Imperial Indian Pale Ale. India Pale Ale ages well. Government warning stuff on the side. What you have here is the holy grail for hopheads. This beer is continually out for over 120 minute boil, then dry hopped every day for a month. Enjoy now or age for a decade or so. And that's about it. Label-wise, super cool label. Just dig it. Super nondescript, super simple, super straight to the point. Love everything from the style, the color, selection of font, and everything. And it has the yellow cap. My one friend refers to it as the warning cap, because, you know, you get those specific Dogfish Head beers have this like yellow, neon, greenish yellow cap on it. And it's like, okay, you're gonna drink a beer that's high in ABV. You better watch out for yourself. So it's got the warning cap on there. So, yeah. Let's see what she has to offer. I know it's going to be good. I don't even have to say, I wonder if it's going to be good. Just excited to see how this sucker aged. I think I've had older ones than this, but I've never had this version this old. So, you can just smell it from here. Color-wise, it looks like caramel. You know? It's got a beautiful caramel colored density to it, to where it's not even like there's a ton of sediment floating around there. It's just got this uber density to it that just makes it look like a watered down version of caramel, which is, to me, beautiful. Head wise, just a hair under a finger, off-white head, decently creamy top, not a ton of carbonation going on in there, but it just looks freaking fantastic. Let's see what this sucker has on the nose. Oh, good God. I mean, that hops are there, but it's got what it looks like caramel. It has that kind of malty, sweet, sugary candiness to it on the nose that now is more, that's more forward than the hops itself, which for me makes this beer infinitely stellar. At this point, I would make it, instead of, what am I trying to say? Instead of calling it a Imperial IPA, I'd almost call it an American style barley wine at this point. Just because of how far the hops have probably dropped off, based on the nose, seems like a decent amount. And then that sweet malt awesomeness just sugary, caramelly goodness to it. It just smells like it's going to be an out of this world American style barley wine. So, barley wine's kind of a catch-all when it comes to descriptions, and they called it an IPA just because IPAs are kind of like the most popular beer on earth. So, I'd kind of classify this based off the nose. With age, is more of an American style barley wine. But yeah, it just smells fantastic. The hops are there, but they're not super overpowering like they would be if it was fresh and just cracked, brand new. It's just got awesomeness going on. So, it smells good, looks fantastic. Let's see how she tastes. That's just an amazing beer. Oh my god. That's an amazing beer. To have that age on it like that just makes it into a whole nother being of uber fantasticness. Just that sugary, caramelly, molasses awesomeness is in there. But it's got that hop bite to it. From being intensely hopped in a boil and then to be dry hopped over time. But it all works. It just makes so much sense. I don't even know what else to say about it. It's such a unique beer. There's no real other beer that kind of gets this the way it gets it. Oh. Just fantastic. Super smooth. Like I said, I'm not quite sure exactly what the ABV was on 2011 versions of this, but there's nothing there. Like, there's no burn. There's no booziness. And it's probably 20%. It's absolutely probably up there with one of the most dangerous beers on the face of the planet, just for that, Ugh. Absolutely fantastic. I don't even want to talk about it, I just want to drink it. Mouth feels fantastic. It has this like super fluffy creaminess to it. It's not thick by any means, but it's just got this awesome density to it. It's not thick, not thin, it's just very light. Very fluffy. Like I said, there's a ton of sugary goodness there. Beautiful maltiness to it. When you drink it, you get that hot bite at the end. But it's so in tune with the rest of the beer. It's not like a separate entity to where it's like, okay, you're drinking, boom, hot bite. You're like, wow, that's hoppy. It's like, it all makes sense. It's not like it's like sweet, and then like hop. It's like sweet, and then the hop kind of builds with the sweetness, and it just ends up being beautiful in all sense of the world, from nose to mouth to color to everything about it. It's an absolutely fantastic beer. People out there who get them and drink them fresh, I encourage you wholeheartedly to age these. It's probably one of my, up there with my favorite ageable beers. J.W. Lee's, Thomas Hardy's, a bunch of beers are on that list. We're talking like on the top of that list. Non-barrel aged, of course, beforehand. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people like, oh, it's nice to age an already aged beer. I'm talking about bottled beers that you're going to age. This is up there with one of them. Rating-wise, I'm going to give it like a 90 at this age. 2011, at almost 4 years, because this is the 2014. It's November, so you're almost 3.5 to 4 years. I'm going to give it a 98. That great of a beer. Just absolutely fantastic. And the weird thing about it is availability. I typically get 120s whenever I want. I'm going to pay a premium for them. So it's not like they're uber easy to get, especially aged ones. But you're going to pay a premium for them, but you're going to always find them. or I can always find them, especially in northeastern Pennsylvania. I have a couple places on the top of my head that I know I can find them. So I'm going to give it availability. I'm probably going to give it like a 6, just because I know I can get them. Value is a little askew. I'm not sure what I paid for this bottle. I have a couple, like 2 or 3 2011s, and I'm sure I had one gifted to me by Ryan from brewphoto.com or at brewphoto on Instagram. If it's his, kudos to you. If it's not, then I think I paid like 10 for it, which is kind of, you know, a little bit up there. But I mean, I think they usually retail for about 200 and change a case. So it's about right. I mean, value-wise, I'm going to give it a 5, just because it's a great beer, especially if you age it. But it is a pricey beer, just right out of the chute. Then again, there's so much put into it. I'm not like diminishing it from that standpoint. Be like, I understand why it costs so much because of what they need to do in order to make it the way it is. So I'm not going to be like, oh, it should be cheaper. It just sucks that it's that much. So, but I mean, if you could find this like 3 to 4 year old bottle for like $10 to $15 at that size, and jump all over that sucker, because that is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, 98 overall, which is an amazing score. I don't hand those out quite often, and decent scores on value and availability. If you're into good beer or great beer, or you want to try new beers, or you've never had it before, especially in age 1, you're owe it to yourself to give it a whirl. If you're into American style barley wines, or just big, robust, over the top beers, and you've never had not only just a 120, so I think most people have an aged one, I encourage you, go out, buy one, let it sit for 3, 4, 5 years, and give it a whirl. It's absolutely fantastic. It's just one of the best ageable beers out there going. So yeah, another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. If you did or you didn't, or somewhere in between, please leave a comment in the comment section below. If you know beers out there you think we should review, or beers that you feel should get a little bit of more publicity than they actually get, or stuff you would like to see reviewed from breweries that maybe we don't know about, please let us know in the comment section too. We're always on the look for new beers that nobody knows about. And if you'd like to check us out anywhere else on the internet, you can on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Massive Beers. Massive Beers in all 3 of those places. We're way more active on Instagram, so if you're going to check us out anywhere, check us out there. And yeah, another review down. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a beer just as good as this one. And hopefully you see you next time. Cheers.